Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is at FeelThePaynePW, or Nick Payne if you prefer, and you're watching my 31st episode now on my team career here on F1 2020, and obviously it's Season 2, we're halfway through Season 2 this is, so if you haven't checked out my previous episodes, please go do so now. The last race, of course, was at the Canadian Grand Prix. I qualified in P1, on the medium tyres as well, so great Q2 for us, and we just dominated the whole race. To be honest, we clean sweeped through the pit stop, stayed in first the whole way through, and we won the race, finishing in P1, of course, with the fastest lap as well. But as we come on through to the next race now, we've got a chance to obviously either get a new teammate in or renegotiate with our teammate in Charles Leclerc. I don't think he's done too poorly. He has done worse than us, but he's still a 95 rated, which is the second best driver on the grid, so we are going to keep him. And we're going to... But to be fair, if we look at the demands that he's asking for and our team, we're going to go with the high risk. And we're going to hopefully get through. And no, unfortunately for us, it's not. It's been declined. So that means that we have to renegotiate with our teammate. Which means that we actually lose out on a sort of day in that gap there. We have to advance on through to renegotiate with our teammate. But this time, obviously, the price has gone up. All the prices from low risk to high risk all gone up. So we're going to go with medium risk. Hopefully he accepts it this time, which in fact he does. So we do retain our teammate in Charles Leclerc for the rest of the season. And we can go on through and obviously fill up the activities that are left over in the days. Unfortunately, we can't get everything in there. There's only a few that we can actually get in there. But the thing we've got, now that we've signed our teammate, we've actually got quite a bit of money that we can actually spend. So we are going to spend some upgrades in the personnel in the analysis suite and the resource points in the chassis as well, just to obviously make sure that we keep advancing, keep progressing as a team, and obviously keep pushing the team forward in the right direction. We don't want to obviously stay stale and stay in one place. We need to keep pushing forward, obviously improving the specification of each facility. And as you can see, we go through to July 2nd now for the Austrian Grand Prix, and we can see how we get on in qualifying. And as we go down the main straight here on the Austrian Grand Prix, it's the quickest lap in the F1 calendar, of course, as we go into the second DRS zone of the lap, of course, if you include the main pit start finish straight, as we go into turn 3, break at the 100 metre board roughly, turn in. That's actually quite a bad turn for me. I normally do get turn 3 quite spot on, but that time unfortunately I didn't, as we go into the third DRS zone, or the second DRS zone, depending on how you see things, into the turn. Make sure you don't go off the track, because you will, if you go slightly off the track, then you're going to dip a toe into the gravel straight away. Roll the car around into that turn there. This one I like, because you can slow the car down and then accelerate just as you get to the edge of the apex. Get as much speed into the car as possible. And everyone's currently done a lap so far, as we come around the final couple of corners into the final turn with the assistance of DRS. The final time across the line, and we actually go P4 with Leclerc in P2. So it's not the best of the lap, but as I said, I did make quite a few mistakes through that lap, so there was a lot of time to be gained, and we do actually qualify through qualifying 1 in P4. So as we go out for our first lap in Q2, we do go fastest on the set of soft tyres though. And we do drop down to P2 once Max Verstappen has taken and done his lap. So we do go through on the soft tyres. And then, unfortunately for us, the rain starts to come down. So not a great thing for us. So we do drop down to P5. in qualifying, and unfortunately we can't actually get any higher than that. We were looking like we could get P1, P2, but with the rain it did sort of stitch us up a little bit, so now we can see if we can improve on that result in the race.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about the rookie. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
They've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far, but whether they can keep that up long term remains to be seen.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Ricciardo, the rookie, and Sainz, Norris, Vettel, Gasly, and Alexander Albon, Leclerc, Giovinazzi, Lance Stroll, and Ocon, Perez, Magnussen, Daniel Kvyat and Kimi Raikkonen, De Vries, Russell, Latifi and Nobuharu Matsushita. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
And as you can see, we did obviously qualify in P5. We are starting on the grid in P5 as well. It's going to be a one-stop strategy today, from the softs to the hard tyres. No change of weather by all accords in the obviously weather forecast in the top. And we start on the grid in P5 with Ricciardo in front of us, Hamilton just ahead of that, and we go to 5 red lights and we're underway with overtake obviously down, putting as much pressure on the cars in front as early as possible. Ricciardo's got the in the inside line, but we do go round him on the outside. We've got Verstappen just ahead of us. We're using as much overtake on this start as possible, see if we can jump as many cars as quickly as possible. We look to make a dive down the inside of Max Verstappen. We have to give him just about enough room because we go down the inside very hesitantly. There's yellow flags all behind us. We've got Max Verstappen still ahead. We're up into P4, so that is a gain of 1, but unfortunately, considering how I like to do things around here, I do like to try and get up the grid as much as possible. So unfortunately for us, it's only one place. We've got Hamilton, Bottas and Verstappen all ahead of us. Bottas pushing a huge lead to the cars behind. As you can see, Hamilton's behind him, and there's already a huge gap forming between the two Mercedes cars. And we've got Verstappen behind Hamilton. We've got Ricciardo behind us. And unfortunately for us, we just can't actually gain on him at the moment. We've got obviously quite a few laps, as it's only lap 1. We've got a long way to go as we cross the line in P4 at the end of first lap with lap 2, and we're right on his tail now coming out of the first turn. And Ricciardo is actually dropped back a small bit after the first turn, so that must have been a perfect exit out of turn 1 there. And we're going to try diving on Verstappen, but unfortunately we're not close enough to him. We get a great exit out of turn 3, and now we've set a purple first sector in sector 1. We're right on the tail of Max Verstappen. Can we make a move here just after the end of the DRS zone? Yes, we can. No DRS needed. Dive down the inside, and that's another position moved up. We're now into the podium positions, but Max Verstappen is still there. He's still got his nose in. We cover him off slightly. We let him through, having enough space, but thankfully we do stay in the lead in P3. But we've got Hamilton up ahead now. Here on lap 5, we've got Max Verstappen trying to make a move down the inside just before the end. We squeeze him just towards the right of the curb, right onto the inside. We cut across, and now we still are into the lead, but thankfully we do have DRS on Hamilton behind, as Ricciardo and Verstappen both looking to attack on us. We've got DRS, and we're going to go round the outside of him, and we're going to keep in front of Max Verstappen, and we've now forged a little bit of a gap now to push on towards Hamilton as we come through onto lap 8 with DRS. We're right on the tail of the Mercedes driver now with Rich Mixture, with DRS, with ERS on overtake. Can we make a move here into turn 3? He squeezes us right against the wall, right against the grass there. Nearly had to go push right onto the grass. We drop down to into fuel mix 2, but we are up into P2 now with Bottas up ahead. And as we come through here on lap 9, we've still got Bottas up ahead, and there's actually yellow flags behind us, and it looks like one of the cars is going slow. We've got Bottas up ahead, Hamilton behind. We're stuck in a Mercedes sandwich at the moment as we brake just at the right time there into the turn, and Sebastian Vettel's out of this Grand Prix, and there's a safety car. It's a safety car, so this is a chance to change our strategy here. Can we change our strategy for the better? Most likely Bottas is going to be coming into the pits as well to change his strategy if we are. We're changing our strategy to a two-stop strategy. A soft tyres and the medium tyres going on. We're going with the softs next to see if we could just push as fast as we can, and hopefully we can stay in front as many cars. And Bottas is actually staying out. Bottas is staying out, so hopefully we know something he doesn't here, as Hamilton is also coming into the pits. So is Verstappen, so is Ricciardo, all behind us. Leclerc's coming into the pits as well behind them. We're double stacking, and hopefully we get the good end of the stick here, as Bottas is staying out in the lead on those soft tyres. Maybe he feels he can go a lot longer with the safety car being out, and maybe go to the medium tyres, but who knows. We're doing the two-stop strategy. We're obviously staying out, and we drop down to P4 behind Raikkonen and Giovinazzi now. And unfortunately Hamilton and Verstappen both are on our tail still after the restart. We've got Raikkonen just ahead. Can we make an early move on the Finnish driver here, as we've got Hamilton behind us, who also came in with Verstappen for the soft tyres, so their tyres are just as fresh as ours. Raikkonen and Giovinazzi's tyres are not as fresh, but unfortunately we can't get close enough to make a move. We make a move down on the inside, careful not to make contact with Giovinazzi, but me doing so allows Raikkonen to come back through. He squeezes us very close to the grass. Fair driving from the Finn, but we are still in a position. But Hamilton's looking to make a move down to the inside of us as we're trying to make it through, and we go 3 wide through that turn there. Raikkonen losing out quite a few positions there to me and Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton diving on me as well, and as I'm turning in, this is so thankfully we don't have any damage to our front wing. I'm not sure if there's any damage to Hamilton's front wing. He is staying with us, so I assume not, but we've got the Italian of Antonio Giovinazzi just up ahead now as we go deep over the curb there and bubble about, as we've got Hamilton right on our tail, pushing us hard, keeping us on us through each turn. He goes just in front of us as we go round into turn 1. We cut through and we are still ahead, but Giovinazzi is a 1 second gap away. I was hoping to be able to make a move here, but as you can see behind me, Verstappen has actually made a move on Hamilton and made the move before turn 3, and he's up now into P5, or P4 shall I say. Hamilton down to P5, but it's going to be roughly, I assume so, a net P3 for Hamilton and a net P2 for Verstappen, as I dive on through on Giovinazzi. A lovely dive on Giovinazzi there, and that's another overtake done, as we've got Bottas next as I'm on the fastest lap here on lap 14. Can I make a move here to get past Bottas? Just like we did on Giovinazzi, we dive down the inside, brake later, cover off the inside, make sure we have the corner, and that's another position there. And we're now into P1, and we've got Hamilton behind us here on lap 21. But as you can see, he can't catch us, and he is going to be boxing this lap for the medium tyres. He's going to be boxing 1 lap prior to what we are. We're going to be boxing this lap now here on lap 22. So that could mean that Hamilton gets the undercut strategy on us. We'll have to see as we come into the pits now here on lap 22. Verstappen's also coming into the pits in his scarlet red Scuderia Ferrari, and he's going to be coming into the pits there, as we've got a long old drive to the end of the pit lane to obviously change our tyres. Can we stay in front of him? Can we stay in front of Hamilton? Obviously doing the undercut as Verstappen changes tyres, and it's a 2.6 second stop, and we are in front But Hamilton is now coming through, as you can see, to the left of us. He's got the exit, and Verstappen's still behind us, but Hamilton has taken the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Disappointing for us, but as we come through 1 lap later with DRS, we've got a chance to actually overtake him now, and we've done it into turn 3. Thankfully, we didn't take too long and didn't mess about for too long trying to do the overtake, but here we've actually made the move here on lap 24, River Purple Sector 1, and thankfully and hopefully we can stay in front now. But as you can see here on lap 27, Verstappen's overtaken Hamilton once again and is pushing very hard to make an overtake on us as we go through into turn 1. But Verstappen is still there, biting and chomping hard at our heels. He goes to the outside. We've got the inside, so we're going to dive back on him. And hopefully we've actually got DRS as well, as we demand and take care of that corner into turn 3 and stay in lead of this Austrian Grand Prix. But here on lap 29, he's still relentless, he's still fighting, he still goes down the outside, we take the inside. But unfortunately we don't get the DRS, we were still just in front of him into the corner. But we still have the lead of this Grand Prix for the time being, as Max Verstappen's going to make a move down the outside into this turn here. We're going to keep the inside just to make sure and cover all bases. But as you can see here on lap 32, end of lap 31, start of lap 32, thankfully we've got DRS down on the inside of turn 1 now, so we can push away from Verstappen and Hamilton behind with as much overtake and rich mixture as we can possibly allow. But unfortunately we ain't got a lot of ERS to use at the moment. We have used a lot of it trying to stay away and defend against the Ferrari and the Mercedes drivers. But thankfully Hamilton is battling Verstappen at this moment and it is overtaking him. So now we could just push on through here on lap 33. Verstappen has overtaken the English driver there. And actually Verstappen's taken the inside and Hamilton's followed him through, and we make contact, and no, we've got damage. As we tried making it round the outside, he goes over the bubble, which slows him down. I'm not expecting him to slow down, and we've gone into each other and we've actually made a lot of damage there. Thankfully we've got DRS. This is our final chance. If we don't make this, we're not finishing in P1, and it looks like it's not going to be, because Verstappen's got a massive gap on us. We try anyway, see how close we can get, but it's not close enough. Close but no cigar, as we're down into P2 with damage. Hopefully Hamilton has some damage as well, and it clearly does, as we come home in P2, up from P5. So still a good result, but what could have been.
Smiling faces on the pit wall after a superb win here in Spielberg, and rightly so, a brilliant effort from the whole team. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
What can I say after that? What a great triple threat battle there between obviously myself, Hamilton and Verstappen there. Obviously won by Verstappen in the end, who gets all 4 points for the 25. We get 19, 18 plus the 1 point added on for the fastest lap. Thankfully, Leclerc with a very disappointing result in the end, dropping down to P15. That is not the way I wanted him to answer me signing him for a new contract. But as you can see, the top 3 in the Drivers' Championship are the 3 that were battling at the front of the field this race, as Max Verstappen is currently in P1, myself in P2, Hamilton in P3, and it's very close, as as close as it can be, as we are in P4. But as you can see, Ferrari are 4 points ahead of Mercedes and 8 points in front of Red Bull. And that's where we're going to wrap up this video. If you have enjoyed this video, I'm sure you have, considering it's been a very closely fought battle between the top three in the World Drivers' Championship at the moment. And hopefully, long may it continue as well, considering, obviously, Verstappen in the Ferrari, Hamilton in the Mercedes, myself in the Payne Racing. I can only imagine it will. So if you have liked this episode, please like it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I've been at FeelThePaynePW. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.